What's up, everyone? Super Pogue here, aka Coach Rich, and I just want to make a video, just shooting the shit with y'all. I want you guys to get to know me more, see how my perspective, see life from my point of view. Hopefully it helps some of y'all. If you guys find yourself in similar straits, if you guys know other vets that you want me to connect with as well, maybe show them these videos, and hopefully it might help a couple of y'all. But let's see, little about me. So as you guys, most of you already know, I'm a veteran, United States Marine Corps. Got out 2017. Got a lot of injuries from it. Hurt myself in a lot of fun ways, I always say. I got, my own issues, my own demons, just like everybody. It's just learning how to deal with them. I think that's what counts. 22 veterans a day kill themselves, or actually the numbers now is 20 a day kill themselves. We're getting better at it, saving 2 lives, but still 20 veterans a day kill themselves. That's one every hour and a half practically. That takes their own life. And for me, that's unsad. That's something that needs to change. There's people in the back, by the way, talking on the phone and whatnot. But anyway, so I think those numbers need to change, and I'm hoping that I could help make some progress with that. I've talked to I don't know how many buddies, over the phone, and I've lost buddies to suicide as well. So I know I've been on both sides of it. I've thought about it plenty of times myself. I know what it's like to be in that place, to hit a point where the voices, everything, the demons, you can hear them almost yelling in your mind, and you can hear them just ripping at you and pulling at you, and suicide seems like such a sweet relief from all of it. But I don't know if it's the Marine in me. Maybe I'm just built a certain way, but I am stubborn. To my friends that know me personally, they know that once I set my mind on something, like, that's it. That's pretty much end of the story. I'm gonna do it, and that's kind of how it is. I've set myself on living. I've set myself on being a good father. I've set myself on being a better person. I've set myself on trying to, get myself in a good state, because ultimately I gotta pass this to my son. I gotta raise him, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to be the father that I didn't have, because growing up I grew up with a stepdad, and he was not the best. He used to beat my ass. And when I mean beat my ass, I mean he used to beat my ass. Like, I've been hit with everything that you could think of in a household and more. The belt was the first thing it started with, obviously. And then from there it was sticks, pool sticks, the iron itself, along with the cord from it. What else? I've been hit with, kicked, punched by him, all kinds of cool shit, So he broke my arm one time. I remember that. That was a lot of fun. With the pager. Yeah, he threw it at me and I blocked. So I don't want to be that kind of father to my son, and I've been with my kid pretty much every day of his life, other than the time that I was out on orders for stuff, for training or whatever. So it was just one of those things where my son, like, he loves the crap out of me, and one day I'll bring him in the videos. He wants me to start his own YouTube channel. So I'm just like, oh man, we'll see. He's awesome. But it's just one of those where I've set certain things in my mind, and I think veterans can understand that. I always say I'm not the typical veteran, because I'm really not. I went in late. I went in when I was 25. and into the Marine Corps. So I lived life before that. I was in a band. We did the Hollywood scene, like the whole deal. It was called Mind Delay. It was pretty awesome. I had the long hair and everything. Swear to God, I'll show you guys pictures later and whatnot. You guys can check. Matter of fact, you guys can see some of the pictures on my Facebook page. I'll leave a link down below, to Facebook and to Instagram and to Snapchat. I always put up stuff, so feel free to add me there. Normally I'm more engaging, but it's just like I said, right now I find myself in an interesting place in my life. You see, I've been moving around lately, trying to get stable as far as the living situation was concerned. Broke up with my ex, and even before that, I've just been having to move from place to place, and now I'm living with my father, who I didn't grow up with, my biological dad, not my stepdad. And it's been interesting living with him so far. We look a lot alike, we act a lot alike, and we have a lot of similarities, which is funny, but we didn't grow up together. But he took me in, so it's good. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that we have a relationship now, and even though it's weird, with him and his wife, my stepmother, as far as like I didn't grow up with them, but but I'm their kid, but I'm a grown man, but it's just one of those things where I have found myself in, due to injuries and mental health issues, I've been in and out of work, but I find myself at a point where I'm getting better. I'm trying to get more stable. I'm ready to push forward again, and sometimes you need to withdraw. You need a time where you can just regroup and keep going, find a way. You got to keep moving forward in life. You can't be afraid of putting in the hard work, because ultimately that's what it comes down to, is hard work. Anything in life, if you're not willing to put in, get grimy and dirty, you're not going to accomplish nothing. You're gonna, just might as well curl up and die at that point, but you can't be afraid to get grimy and dirty. And that's one thing I love about, I guess, going in the Marine Corps, is that it gave me a work ethic like no other. And the never say die attitude, which I've always had, but now it's like concrete kind of deal, death before dishonor kind of thing. And it's just it's one of those good and bad things, but it gets me through the tough times. I remind myself who the fuck I really am, because you have to remind yourself, I'm a bad dude, like I've done things that a lot of people haven't been able to do, and I did it injured, all of it. That's why I said I'm not the typical veteran, and what I mean by that is, well, like I said, I went into the Marine Corps when I was 25, so I already went in with a litany of injuries that, when I went into boot camp, my ankle was my Achilles heel. I ended up literally ripping. There's 3 main ligaments in your ankle, right? And so I'm gonna go like this, just so I'm not flipping you off. There's 3 main ligaments that are like this in your ankle, and I ripped these 2. The top one completely, I ripped. This one completely ripped off, and this one, the bottom one right here, was hanging by shreds. It was like this, and at that time I actually ripped it off completely, but I had to keep pushing on it, and it got to the point where I would heal up, and then just enough to push again, and then I would find myself back injured again, to a point where literally my foot was flopping on its own, and not fun at all. I ended up staying in boot camp for 7 months due to that. I still graduated though. A lot of people quit, and they were trying to kick me out because of my ankle, but I didn't give up. I fought to stay in, because I'm stubborn. Like I said, I'm a stubborn bastard. Really am. My drill instructors fought for me, and I fought for myself, and I went to MRP, which is the medical rehab platoon, and I was there twice. 4 months total time, because it's 3 months. It's a 3-month boot camp, and I was there for 7 months, so I stayed there double my time. It's not fun being, and I stayed there as a recruit during that time, so I was literally had no rights. I was being treated like shit every day, and it was totally legal. You know, like it was one of those things where I won't lie to you guys, it was interesting being treated like shit for 7 months. It fucks with your mind, dude. Like there was a time, a very short time in that, where I went a little crazy, I won't lie. But more on that later, you know. It was just one of those interesting monotonous days where literally it was Groundhog Day every day. I mean, I can still tell you the fucking routine that we did every day, because it didn't change. And I bet money, if you go to MCRD right now, San Diego, and we go to MRP, they're still doing the same thing that they did when I was there, or very damn similar to it, you know. And it's monotonous, it's insane. It's like Groundhog Day on repeat, just constant loop of the same thing, day in, day out, you know. And it's enough to drive someone insane, you know. But you know, it is what it is. But it was fun too. I had some fun times. I mean, I'm going to talk about some boot camp stories later, and then I'll talk about some stories from the rest of my career. It was just interesting times, you know. But that's why I say I'm not the typical vet, because for me, I view my service very differently. I view it as almost it's a controversial one, to be honest. Like, if you really come from really honest about it, just because I don't know, like, it was my service, but I had quite a unique career in what I did, because it wasn't typical. Like I said, like, I'm not a badass in the sense of what you think a Marine typically is a badass in. Like, I'm no recon guy or nothing like that. I got hurt a lot, and I didn't give up, you know. And I hope that's what you take from it. If anything, from this video, that's what you take from it. That even though I was hurting, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, shit, you name it, in every kind of league you could think of, I kept going, yo. And that's my advice to y'all. You know, just keep going, keep pushing, don't give up. And whatever you find yourself in, you can hurt, you can be like, yo, but Coach Rich, you know, superpose. You have no idea the pain I'm in. You're right, I don't know. But I do know what it's like to have no one in the corner. I do know what it's like to have just having to scrape to the bottom of the barrel, literally looking for dust crumbs to keep going, for any kind of crumb of motivation, you know. I know what that's like, to where your body is giving up, is betraying you, you know, your mind is betraying you. I know what that's like, dude. Like, trust me, I know exactly what that's like. So my advice to you is just know that you can always push, you can always keep going. And yeah, you guys have any questions, any comments, you guys want to talk more, leave me a comment down below. I'll try to answer every single one. Just understand that, you know, I'm trying to help, I'm trying to spread some good knowledge, spread some good word. If you like this video, give me a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it. That's all I got for now, y'all. Let me know what you think. From me to you, peace out.